You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
All right, guys, welcome to the show, Reza Riffs. Keith Reza with my one and only Alan Lee. How are you, Alan?
How are you? Real good.
Yeah, you're doing the Zoom. You're looking good.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Oh man, we should have came in early just to fuck around with the background.
Yeah, we forgot to do that. Well, we got time to go over that, and you know me, it's a big choice for me. What to have behind me? I don't like things that.
Your action figures are always a good thing to talk about.
Just a moment. Don't go away. Just
Okay.
a moment.
Today on the show, while Alan Lee is going through his that you guys won't be able to see, but only hear. Oh, he has a horn. Captain America, Batman, Mighty Mouse, Hawkeye, Superman. That looks like Bucky, right?
And Captain
Hook. Whoa. Nice.
Down here is the old Batman mobile from the 1950s.
Old 1950s Batmobile. For the folks at home, Alan is playing with the Zoom. We have a great show today. First of all, subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us on social media. Help us out, right, Alan Lee?
You bet you better help us out. And if you can, of course, we don't have the donations up. We could pass a hat around and drop a little coin in for us. I just had some noodles, and those are $1.25.
Those look
Got
good.
2 more left, so I've got 2 more meals. $1.25 gets me a full meal. Now, I don't know about my friend, but $1.25.
$3.25 gets me a full meal. Anyways, not the point. Subscribe, rate, reviews, give us some love. We have a great show tonight. We have Mark Beltzman on. He's going to come with us via Zoom. Mark from hit movies like Home Alone, Billy Madison, The Wedding Singer. And, it's going to be fun. He's agreed to do this. He's directing a play via Zoom called Zoom Murder Mystery Play.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Well, he just emailed me saying he wants to promote that. He also teaches improv and acting. Alan Lee, you're an improv
Yeah, he does. Hello?
So, you're an improv genius, so this should be good. You could ask some questions about Del Close, who is probably
correct
a master of improv.
Del Close is the father of long-form improv. We'll get into that with Mark. Mark has also been with the Second City. That's a big deal. And he's one of the founding members of Improv Olympic in Chicago. You can't get any better than that. I don't think...
he was a founding member?
Yes, indeed. We're not talking about some guy we got off the street like sometimes we do. And
Michael Gabriel.
Listen, bro.
You remember that guy?
No,
Holy Lord.
He's a friend of mine.
Can I come on to talk about this book I wrote about James Earl Ray? And then I'm like, sure, who the fuck is James Earl Ray? Then I find out he killed Martin Luther King. I was like, no, this is a bad time.
Come on.
I haven't heard from Michael in like 2 years, man. I think
we got to call him up. Come on, we're cool.
We are cool. I'm just saying. He deleted his social media. He deleted everything. I'm cool with Michael. I'm not saying I'm not cool with Michael.
No, I know. There's so many people in show business. They disappear for sometimes horrible reasons that they can't control. Like, you don't know, you and I, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. You could end up, sitting.
Well, yesterday I did try calling you more times than I've ever called you in my life.
Right away you think I'm dead or some bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I think I called you like 25 times. I even tweeted. I was like, Alan Lee, call me. Turns out you were at some lady's house watching Titanic.
Oh, I wish I was. I wish I was. And as far as ladies go, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk politics. We're not going to talk about it. But I will say this: a lot of women out there who voted for people that whatever, they've been extraordinarily nice to me, very nice. In fact, I'm actually scared because they're so nice. I don't know what's behind it. I don't know if they want me to look the other way about the situation, and I welcome them. I mean, I'm still going to be friends with everybody. And that's as far as I'm going to go.
Well, Mark Beltzman is in the waiting room. You ready to talk to Mark?
God, that sounds. You getting ready to get married in the waiting
No,
room?
he's in. Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
All right. Well, I'll introduce you
Are
guys.
you listening to this right now?
Maybe.
Oh, thanks.
Mark's in. He's just connecting. He's zooming from Hawaii. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Mark. I hope you're okay. We just had a guest that is having some corona problems.
Wow.
Why'd you bring that up?
There's nothing like starting an interview with that kind of bullshit. Thanks.
Hey, your short form improv. I expect a lot from you. I'm totally amazed. I think that I'm speaking to someone who
don't have any expectations. You will be disappointed.
Mark, this is Alan Lee, the one and only. Alan
Thank
Lee,
you.
This is Mark.
Glad to meet you, Mark.
How's it, brother?
Very good. Are you teaching classes by any chance?
I do teach classes on a regular basis all
Not
over the
in
world
Hawaii.
now. Yeah.
Hawaii or LA? I see that beautiful scroll you have behind you. I thought it's very Asian.
Well, I teach all over the world. Since COVID, everything's virtual. So I do it all virtual. And most of my students are Hawaiian right now. I'm directing a play with all LA and New York actors at the moment.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the play's called Zoom Murder Mystery Play? Or what's the play called?
The play is, if you had done your homework, you'd know the play is called St. Mary Immaculate Reunion.
St. Mary.
I sent you all the links to my website, to the site for the play, the poster, everything I could possibly send you so you didn't have to go, oh, yeah, aren't you that guy? What? Oh, yeah, maybe we should. This is your interview. Maybe I should interview you.
Yeah, please.
How do you prepare for an interview? What do you do to prepare for an interview, gentlemen?
The Zoom play. That's terrible. That's a strange title for a play. The Zoom play.
No.
Yeah.
In my defense,
defense? You have no defense. I sent you the link. Click on the link. Go to your phone and click on the link right now and read it. You'll see as we're on the air, you can help do a promo instead of sitting there like your lazy asses asking me questions like I'm supposed to do all the fucking work for you in this interview. Is a bunch of bull. You fucking invited me here to interview me.
Listen, this is embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing.
You know what's weird is
You're embarrassed. This is being recorded
for posterity.
I'm dying here. No, but I was
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. Wait till we get to trying to be funny. Then boy, I don't know what's going to happen on the Zoom.
Oh god! What I was gonna say was like I had plans.
No, we're gonna make it happen. That's what we're gonna do.
God,
we're gonna make it happen, just like the poster behind you. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I like that.
I don't know how to change that because I did a Zoom to promote my stand-up special. It's called Make It Happen, and the guy did that. I don't know how to change it, but.
You change your background. You want a Zoom tutorial right now as well? So I'm not only here to interview you, I'm going to teach you how to change the background. You go to your video settings. Go to your video settings, and it says choose virtual background. And then you'll have a bunch of choices. One of them is none. And you can choose none, or you can have a background like that.
There's a turtle.
Or you can have a background like that.
Oh, that's a good
one. That's cool.
Or you can have a background like that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I found
That's
it.
my office. This is where I go. This is where I go every day.
Wow.
Every 7 days a week. That's
Oh,
my
wow.
office.
Well, no, Mark, what I was going to say is I had plans of becoming your new best friend, but I just feel like I'm fucking it up.
Yeah, you started fucking it up last week. You didn't even wait till I got here.
That's very good. The voice of truth.
If you would have just, you know what? If you'd have just told me what you were doing and asked my permission to use my picture to raise money for your show, I probably more than likely would have said yes. But to see somebody with my picture going, donate $150 to sponsor me, I'm like, I'm not getting a piece of this. What the fuck are you doing? You didn't ask my permission and you're not paying me. So, dude, you really gotta, be a little less selfish in your stand-up career.
I did feel terrible, and I didn't want to even bring that up, but I seriously, I felt terrible.
You did bring it up. You just brought up that you fucked up before you even got here. You brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
I didn't want to bring up why I fucked up. I just wanted to say I fucked up.
Well, let's go back to COVID. Let's go back to where we started. Yeah, COVID. People are dying everywhere. That's hilarious. People are dying. We're not even dying on stage. We're dying at home in front of our fucking own TVs by ourselves.
Oh, what a way to keep.
Speaking of dying on stage, who was that comedian who died on stage in like the 80s?
Who?
I don't know about the 80s. There was a couple.
It was in La Jolla at the Comedy Store.
No, I think it was like.
Hey, wait a minute, Mark.
I don't know who you're talking about, but this is a great story. This. What do you want to talk about, Alan?
No, the comic that.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll tell you a great story though. There was an actor who was also a stand-up comedian named Dick Shawn.
Dick Shawn. Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
Yes, absolutely.
So Dick Shawn was in a movie called "It's a Mad, 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 Mad World," and he's like, "I'm coming to get you, Mama. I'm coming to get you." You know, that's his character. But he was doing stand-up for real. This is a true story. He was doing stand-up on stage, and he was doing a bit about having a heart attack. And it was going so great that the audience stood up and gave him a standing ovation. And little did they know he was literally dead on stage of a heart. He was dying of a heart attack while doing a bit about having a heart attack. Died, got a standing ovation from the audience, and was on stage all dead.
Yeah. That's what you call a trooper.
I guess, yeah.
I thought this was a comedy show. What happened? What the fuck?
But I wanted to talk about the directing a Zoom mystery over Zoom. Like how is directing over Zoom? Like
I don't know. I'll let you know once it's up. I mean, we're look, as human beings, we're all forced to reinvent ourselves as human beings, but especially as artists, and we're reinventing the format of which we, create with. So this is all new. Nobody really knows. It's been interesting to find solutions and adapt things to work. But honestly, I don't know. This is all new. And
it's performing for how long are you doing it? 2 weeks?
Dude, take 2 minutes. Open up the app. Oh, just open up the link.
January. No, I got this.
Oh, you're really looking bad as an interviewer here. I mean, if you just take 1 minute, pretend like you're getting a drink of water, or say, I got to go to the bathroom. And then when you go to the bathroom, you take your phone, and then you open up the link. I say, you go like this. It's a link, and you just go, boop, and then the link opens up, and it'll open up all the information with the website. Like all,
I got it.
And then you can just look at the website and all the actors and the talent, and it'll tell you, like in print. Can you read? Do you know how to read? If you read, then you would read what the play is about, as if you were telling me instead of asking me. And
Yeah.
then this is how we interview. This is an interview technique class. You're now teaching. We went from teaching you how to start an interview. Don't talk about death or disease or pandemic. That's not a good way to start about an interview. Then secondly, you want to learn how to change your background and do Zoom IT technology class. Then now we're going into how do you prepare for an interview in order to ask a question of a very talented actor, director, teacher, performer that you have in front of you, and get any information so you could ask an intelligent question instead of asking from a fucking completely stupid, uninformed point of view what you're trying to get across here.
Don't forget, we also talked about Dick Shawn for 2 seconds.
Oh, you're right. You got me on that one.
That's
oh my God. Well,
I'm a Dick Shawn fan. I love the guy. Absolutely adore him. He was very improvisational. Mark.
Yeah, he's Second City guy. Yeah. I'm a Second City alumni. He's
definitely
Dick Shawn.
And you know, as before I wanted to get to close.
Too late.
No, I had this.
No, but that's an interesting question, Mark, because you did Second City, and you trained under the best, Del Close. Like, that's gotta be like an accomplishment,
Yeah.
Is it?
I think it's a great accomplishment. Like, I wish I trained under him.
Yeah. Yeah. In all honesty, I've been very fortunate. I've had a great career. I was one of the founders of Improv Olympic, or what we now know as IO, and part of the group Barons Barracudas, which was the founding members of Improv Olympic. And then I got hired at Second City and worked there for many years. Yeah, I studied with Del. Del Close was the guru of all improv.
Yeah.
He was one of the founding members of Second City, which started in 1959. Then he was with the committee. He was a director of the committee in San Francisco in the late 60s as well.
Right.
Larry Hank.
They all formed and shaped comedy as we know it today. So anybody who has anything to do with comedy as you know it today was either shaped by or studied with Del Close. And we're going back. He was the original acting coach for the Not Ready for Primetime Players on Saturday Night Live. So he influenced and taught John Belushi, John Candy, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and the committee was Howard Hessman, Carl Gottlieb, who wrote Jaws. He was very influential, and he was a great mentor, great teacher. I studied with him for many years. I actually talked to him on his deathbed a little bit before he died, and that was pretty powerful. He was a great man. He was a good man.
Wow. So, I mean, that's kind of like an honor that he talked to you on his deathbed, because, like, on my deathbed, I don't want to talk to anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it was almost as much of an honor it is for you to talk to me right now. Almost. Not quite.
I think it's a great honor. Like, I love you.
It was. Yeah. We had a nice conversation.
Yeah. So, when is it that where you wanted to do improv? I mean, I know you do acting, but it seems like you started doing improv. When did you wake up and say, I wanted to do that?
I started playing music when I was very young. I play the tuba. I still do. I have my own show called Tubazar, and I invite artists to come play their music. They just have to write me a tuba part to play along with them. And so that was like around fourth grade. And then I played in many symphonies and bands and studied music in school. And when I got to high school, my best friend was a guy named Robert Teachman, and his parents had some friends and would invite us to these parties at their house. And a couple of those parents' friends were photographers. And one of them asked me, could he rent my tuba for a Lazy Boy Chair magazine ad? And I said, sure. And he said, you want to be in it? And I said, yeah. And that was my first acting job, was actually as a model.
Wow.
In a magazine ad for Lazy Boy Chairs. And then I kind of met somebody else in that print ad and connected with them. And then I started taking acting classes, and I got hired by, I saw Del Close's name in the Detroit newspaper, and he was coming to town to teach a workshop. And that's the first time I had heard his name. And I cleaned out my bank account and took a workshop with Del, and got hired to be in the Detroit Times Theater Company, which is where I met my wife. And we've been together almost 40 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Beverly Lubin. And she got out of the business shortly after that. And I just pursued it, and then moved to Chicago to study with a guy named Michael Gelman. And he got me hooked into Del's classes. Then I got hired by Second City 8 months after I arrived in Chicago, which was August of 1985. And then I worked at Second City from 85 to 91. And then I got wooed out to Hollywood by managers and agents, and did a bunch of movies and television in Chicago, and then kept doing movies and television in LA for the last 30 years. And then I founded Maui Improv in 2014. I'm the artistic director, and I've been flying back and forth to Hawaii for years, and moved here full time a year ago, October, not knowing anything about the pandemic. And boy, it turned out to be one of the greatest moves of my life. And it's been wonderful. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny that like, I'm glad that you moved there, but you said that you loved LA, and you moved. You know what I mean? So I was like, because I was doing my research, I was listening to another interview, so I don't ask you the same questions.
So you did prepare something.
Yeah.
But you didn't look at the links I sent.
No. I did. I was just playing with you. I was trying to make you laugh.
Oh. You don't lie very well either. Yeah, no, LA was very good to me. I love it, LA, but the business has changed dramatically. Show business, the industry has changed so dramatically. And I was there in the heyday, when the actors had all the power in the 80s and into the 90s. And then the producers started taking away all our power in the contract negotiations. And now everything's changed. Everything's ultra low budget, and commercials are buyouts, and the industry just isn't as much fun as it used to be. And I don't work as often as I'd like to. I still work. I'm not retired, but I figure if I'm going to do just a few jobs a year, I can do them just as easily from Hawaii as I can from Los Angeles. And living here is much more. It's just safer with this pandemic. We've had very few cases on Maui. Most of them are in Oahu. And even during the strictest time of quarantine, there is no maritime law here. So they can't keep you out of the water. So even when you couldn't leave your apartment, I could still go and get in the ocean. As long as you were in the water or exercising, there's nothing they could do. So I'm just turned 60 years old, December 6th.
Oh, happy belated birthday, pal.
Thank you. And I've never exercised 7 days a week in my whole life. And now I go and exercise every single day. I get in the ocean and swim and snorkel. And today I saw a bunch of giant sea turtles about 4 feet around, and whales are here. Listening to them sing underwater and watching them jump around.
So it's very peaceful. So that's good.
You can see behind me. I took that picture with my phone. That's not like some fake photo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. And what's the hotel? The Hyatt or something?
Oh, that's just an apartment building on the beach right there.
Oh, nice. So I should probably ask this Twitter question because I'll forget. But someone wanted to know that apparently Adam Sandler's making a sequel to Billy Madison. Is there a chance you're going to appear in that, or is that something you can't talk about?
Don't know anything about it.
Holy Lord! Wow. All right. Billy Madison's one of my favorite movies. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to do it. I hope he does. I hope I get to be in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they'd make it without me, but it could. It's Hollywood.
Yeah. So, but what was it? Was Billy Madison your first starring role? Because I know you did Home Alone, and I know you did Uncle Buck, but like
Low Money, I think, was my first big role.
With Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had smaller parts in a lot of John Hughes movies. Home Alone. I got cut out of Uncle Buck. I got cut out of Curly Sue. Got cut out of Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Arnold Schwarzenegger, for the folks at home, is an actor who used to be the governor of California.
Yeah. I got punched in the face by Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
really? What was that like?
Well, it's great. It's fun. It's good.
Okay, I'm sensing sarcasm on that.
No, I really did. I got punched in the face. I mean, that was part in the room in the movie.
Back then, though, like, because you said that when you did Mo Money, some guy was like bullying you. Was that like part where like you didn't know that was what's going on, or like did they not do stunt practices?
Yeah, no, there was no stunt. I should have had a stunt man. I didn't. That was my first big movie, and I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't know it. I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Wow. So, so acting's going well. You're in Hawaii. What's the improv? Because in LA is totally different. I've never been to Hawaii. What's it like in Hawaii? Are people there?
That's terrible. It's terrible. Don't come.
Okay.
Yeah, don't ever.
All right.
I just want to point out that when I'm doing the interview, it's hilarious, and when you are talking, that it's really pretty boring. I'm just going to say,
Okay. You Alan, you want to take over here?
And I'd love to ask Mark what his feeling.
I'm just busting your balls, dude.
What?
No, the thing is,
the whole idea of stand up is to bust each other's balls.
No, I'm not taking offense to that at all. I have Asperger's, so I can't. I have a hard time sensing sarcasm, and so like if you say something, I'm just gonna believe you. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to deposit some money into my account.
Well, I would, but there's this thing called this pandemic, and I've lost my job with comedy, and so like once it comes back, I'll definitely.
Was comedy your full-time job?
Yeah, I tour with Jay Moore, and I used to tour with Norm for a while.
Norm, I love Norm.
Isn't he wonderful?
So,
Norm is the craziest human being on earth. Biggest heart.
Yeah. You got a good story?
Oh, I could tell you Norm stories for days. Yeah, sure. He's just Norm is Norm, I was like Norm has a doctor for everything.
Yeah.
Like, Norm, how many doctors do you need? He's a little bit of a hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Norm.
Yeah, I've heard that.
How many doctors do you have? It's like, I don't know. You don't know when I'm sick. You're right, man. I don't. You're absolutely right. He would quit. He would come to the set. He'd always wanted to quit smoking. So he'd send the PAs to the store to get a pack of cigarettes. And he'd have one cigarette. And then he would crush up the whole pack of cigarettes and go, okay, I'm done, and throw it away. And then 10 minutes later, you have a PA go and get another pack of cigarettes.
He does the same thing today.
I know. And he can't. Norm can't stay in a hotel room in Vegas. Every time
he gambles,
he has a little bit of a gambling issue. So whenever he books a room in Vegas, he goes to Vegas, he loses all his money, he goes to his room and changes his flight and goes home. That's about the only thing he's ever used a room for.
That's pretty true. We did the South Point, and he was at the tables, and we were about to miss the gig. I was like, Norm, we gotta go. He's like, yeah, you go and get me when it's my turn. And I was like, oh. So I went, and then they put up a guest comic. I was like, all right, Norm, they put on a guest comic. He's like, I'm on a hot streak here, you know? So, but
yeah,
no.
I spent many hours in the van waiting for Norm to get out of bed so we could start shooting the movie.
So here's a funny, interesting story. I think Norm likes to fuck with people in a good way, because the comedy club, he did 2 hours on the 8 o'clock show, and the comedy club owner was really mad. He's like, hey, so on the 10 o'clock show, I just want you to do your 45 minutes and we'll go. And he's just like, but why? And he's like, well, because we're paying the staff, hourly, and, we got to get, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. And he was going on and on with the owner. So at the 10 o'clock show, he doesn't get off stage till like 2 a.m. So, genius guy right there.
Norm is a genius. He definitely is a genius. Neurotic as fuck, but a genius.
So when you did The Wedding Singer, was that something you auditioned, or did Sandler give it to you because you guys were buddies?
A little of both. I had he promised me a part in Happy Madison or Happy Gilmore. Yeah. And my part got written out before they started shooting, so he just tossed me a bone, and gave me that role in Wedding Singer, and then I never heard from him again. So there you go.
Well, we'll get you in on Billy Madison too. I'll tweet him if it makes you feel any better.
Tweet him. Tell him I'm on Maui. He's here shooting a movie. He's here shooting some movie, but I don't know how to get hold of him.
So you played Harvey Weinstein with Andy Dick. How is how is playing like a monster like that? Like, what was that like?
Well, I just repeated a few lines. I didn't have to actually sexually assault anybody.
No, I didn't. I was just meant like how was that like when you get a role like that? Because you're obviously making fun of them like that.
Well, acting is a children's game. It's a game of pretend. So you're just pretending. You don't really have to take on the qualities of the evil that you play.
Right.
It might help if you're actually evil, if you're playing an evil role, but no, it was just fun. That particular film that you're referencing was what happened was Harvey Weinstein sexually assaulted an Italian model, and she went to the New York Police Department, and they put a wire on her and sent her back to his hotel the next day. But she chickened out, and she was afraid to go in the room. So there's a recording of her in the hallway, and he's trying to talk her into coming into his room. So we took the actual transcript of that recording and reenacted it with me playing Harvey and Andy Dick playing the beautiful Italian model. So it's all word for word, except for maybe a couple lines in that thing is an actual real transcript.
Wow.
It's called Harvey and Dick. You can just Google YouTube and find it.
Yeah. Now, what's it like working with all these improv geniuses like John Candy, Norm, Sandler? Andy Dick is also a genius too. He's crazy, but he's also an improv genius. Is that something
that you are who you hang out with? So I guess I'm crazy and neurotic and a genius.
So
there you go.
As long as you're a genius, that's all that matters, right?
Well, I hang out with them, so there you go.
All right, Alan, did you want to take over? I feel like I feel like
Well-
Mark wants to bitch slap me across Zoom.
Well, he's
No, not at all. I would, dude. If I didn't want to be here, I would not be here. And if I wanted to leave,
I know.
believe me, I would leave. So,
Leave.
and let me just say this.
Uh,
I have a lot of respect for you, Keith, because you owned the mistake that you made immediately and you owned your shit. And I have respect for any man who takes responsibility for his mistakes, especially when it's that quickly. And it was just honest mistake. And there was no pushback. There was no like, what? I'm not, or trying to explain yourself or defend it. And I have a huge amount of respect for that, my man.
Oh.
So
well, thank you.
know that I'm just having fun and I'm just playing with you. And there's no eggshells to walk on here. No hard feelings.
I love you very much. I'm a big fan of yours.
I appreciate that. I'm flattered and I appreciate it. And I'm just here to support you, brother.
Oh, thank you so much. I like I said, tough love, and I get that. And whenever I make a mistake, I own up. I think that's an Asperger quality, actually.
Yeah, I bet it is, because you don't feel good unless you own it, right?
No, I mean, I was actually crying, and because it wasn't my intention to upset you, and I apologize, and
you didn't really upset me. It was just, fair is fair. That's all. And like I said, had you asked my permission, I more than likely would have just said yes.
Yeah, but I didn't. I guess I didn't see it from that point of view, and I own that.
I understand. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, but back to working.
Okay. Yes.
I have a couple because I'm a huge John Hughes fan. What was it like working with him? Because
John Hughes, we're throwing this word around a lot, but another genius. I mean, that man, owned teen comedy, and him and John Candy became very close. Both families, actually, I'm still good friends with the Candy family. As a matter of fact, John Candy's daughter, Jennifer Candy, who's a spitting image of her dad, is in the play I'm directing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And they're just wonderful people. Jennifer Candy does a show called Couch Candy. And she interviews people who work with her dad. And you should check that out. Just Google Couch Candy, and then she has a whole bunch of people. But Couch Candy, Mark Beltzman, and you'll find my episode. And it's sort of like This Is Your Life. She really, unlike you, does some research and goes back and finds pictures and does the backstory and kind of pieces together your whole career. So it's really interesting and fascinating to watch everybody on there. My episode was a lot of fun, but John Hughes was just a great man, and I had a lot of respect for him, and I can only assume he had a lot of respect for me. He hired me to be in a bunch of movies. I got cut out of a lot of them, but still, I really enjoyed working with him. And again, he's one of these people through his pen, his mind, and his creativity influenced and changed filmmaking as we know it today. Look at 16 Candles was huge, groundbreaking for teen comedies around the world.
This might be a stupid question, but I don't know because I'm not an actor, so I don't know. But when you get cut out of something, do you still get a copy of your, what's that called, a reel or something? Do you still get a copy of your scenes or no?
Depends on the director or if you have a relationship. But to answer your question, no.
Oh.
I mean, like I said, I lived in the heyday back when we had relationships and things were different. John Hughes would actually send me gifts for cutting me out of a movie.
What was the coolest gift he gave you?
He cut me. I had a great scene, some great 3 or 4 great days of shooting, some really funny stuff in Uncle Buck, and it all got cut out because he changed the storyline a bit. He sent me a really nice letter, and he sent me a leather jacket that said Uncle Buck on the back of it.
Oh,
it's one of those Letterman's jacket like you get when you're in college
football team. Yeah.
football team. But I gave it to Jennifer Candy. I gave it to his daughter because her dad was Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
So I gave that jacket to her. I certainly don't need it in Hawaii.
Well, that was very sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he sent me some great stuff.
Now, when you were on Second City and you moved to Los Angeles, did Second City like adopt to a Los Angeles club back then too?
Yeah, it did before I got out there. There was a Second City going, opened and closed before I arrived at the Mayfair Theater in Santa Monica. And then after I arrived, they opened up a training center, but not a performance space.
Yeah.
Because they found when they had a theater out there that a lot of the actors were getting hired to do movies and television, so they kept stealing people off the stage. So it's not conducive for that market. But they did open a training center, and I taught classes there for many years. And that still exists. They have a very small theater where the students get to perform, and they do a few shows every week. But there's still a training center in Los Angeles and one in Chicago. Of course, everything's shut down for COVID. But
yeah, I was actually going to go to the one in Los Angeles, but I chose the Groundlings over, and I felt like that was kind of, I don't know, like I think that I'm just more of a stand-up guy, not really an improv guy, you know?
Well, improv is ensemble work. It means, look, here's the difference between Groundlings and Second City. So Groundlings is very reputable, very successful. I would never slam them, poo-poo them, or put them down. But they're very character-driven. So they teach you how to be funny, and very often it's at somebody else's expense. So you can make fun of somebody on stage, get a huge laugh from the audience, but it sort of kills the scene. At Second City, we believe in ensemble work, which means if you make your partner look good, you look twice as good.
That's right.
So all the laughs emerge organically from exploring and heightening the relationship between two people, and the audience can relate to that. So it's always fun for everybody involved. And so we love ensemble work. And you may not be cut out for ensemble work with Asperger's and having stand-up be your chosen form of creativity, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to be willing to make somebody else more important than you.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah. Have you ever tried stand-up, or was that?
Oh, yeah, I've done stand-up. I've done all kinds of stand-up. I've also done, storytelling. I've also done, what's really fun is improvised stand-up. So you don't know what you're going to talk about. You can't write or make up jokes.
Right.
You just get a topic and go. I used to do this bit regularly at the Improv Olympic in LA, where I would go and do improvised stand-up with my phone. And so I would take my cell phone and I would write my cell phone number on a big piece of poster board. And I would just put it down and say, okay, I'll talk to you about anything you want. You just have to call me. So people in the audience would start calling me, and they would try and be funny, and they go, what are you wearing? And I'd go, what the fuck you mean when you're sitting right there? Fuck you. I got another call. And I get another call, and so people could hear both sides of the conversation, and it was hilarious, and it killed. It was great. And then like 3 or 4 days later, I'd be getting calls on my phone. They go, who is this? And I would just hang up, and then they would call me back and go, hey, were you on stage the other day? And I was like, yeah. It was really funny. It was a really great bit. People would, cool. Yeah. It was awesome.
How many times did you change your number?
I did back then. It was the beginning of cell phone. It was sort of the beginning. You didn't have to worry too much about, prank calls or telemarketers as much as you do today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't do that in Maui with your, or is that a bit you dropped?
No, I haven't done that in a long time. I don't have time, man. I just don't have time to do it all. I'm busy directing, performing. I'm in talks on 3 different movies, directing this play. I teach 3 different classes. Hey, man, put your phone on vibrate, dude.
Sorry.
Seriously. In a minute. To train both you on interview etiquette here. This is
That
really
was not me, thank God.
this is embarrassing for me.
It never happens.
Right. Neither does this interview. This never happens.
God.
In my defense, again, I think Zoom interviews are fun, but I also think that they could be hard. Like I'm used to in studio, chilling, drinking coffee.
Yeah, well, we're also not used to dying from COVID, so you got that going for you.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But but that was
I hope we never get used to that.
So
now somebody else's phone is ringing in the background.
No,
what the fuck?
It's not mine. I turned mine off because I'm a good interviewer. I don't want to be distracted.
Alan, have you ever done this before?
I've practiced a couple of times. I don't know what is going on.
How do you guys know each other? How do you guys know each other?
Stand up. Alan's my best friend. I met him, oh God, what, 15, 16 years ago?
At least. We met at an open mic there by the college there in
Fullerton,
and we would go there every Tuesday, and we just decided one day to get together and do something like this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if you remember your stand-up days, Mark, but before I got, like, I don't mean to brag, but I'm actually pretty good at stand-up for the past 3 or 4 years. But
yeah, I bet. I heard good things.
No, but like it takes like 10 years before you could be good at stand-up, And I remember we would go, like, there would be like homeless people trying to kill us. You remember, Alan? Like with knives and stuff? Yeah.
Unhappy and strange.
That was me. I used to hang out in Fullerton back then.
It was by the railroad tracks.
Yeah, that's where I would hang out.
Yeah.
That was you guys?
It was us.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. I had no idea. If I had known I was going to be in this amazing interview years later, 15 years later, holy moly. Boy, if I'd have known that then, I'd have killed you both.
Holy Lord. All right, I got one last movie question for you because I've actually never seen this movie, but as my two favorite actors.
Again, you didn't do your homework. What?
No. Okay, I saw this movie. I just don't. You did Employee of the Month. What was it like working with Matt Dillon and Steve Zahn?
Steve Zahn. That was an amazing experience for so many reasons. Just really fun. First of all, one of my best friends still to this day, two of my best friends actually wrote and directed that movie. Mitch Rouse and my friend Jay Leggett, who's no longer with us. So it meant a lot to me to be working on that movie with my friends. And they hired me without an audition, and that's always amazing. And then I met some really great people who are still my friends to this day, Peter Jason, and a lot of my friends from Second City, because Mitch Rouse and Jay Leggett were both Chicago Second City folks. And they're two amazingly talented men who actually did and practiced what we just got done talking about, ensemble work. Right. And they hired a lot of Second City folks, Renee Albert, Joel Murray, Ken Campbell, a lot of people got to work on that, but they put a lot of people to work on that movie. It was just really fun. And Matt Dillon and Steve Zahn were great. Steve Zahn was very generous. Matt Dillon is wound up a little tight, but a very nice man. But great. Let's see. There was So Matt Dillon rented a house, and there was a little 8-year-old kid that was living next door, and he invited the mom and the 8-year-old kid to the set, and they were running around and having a good time, and I was all blood. I had blood all over my face or something, and Matt Dillon looked at me. He's like, "You look good," trying to connect. And he, at some point, I was just like, "Well, thanks, Lance. It's really nice to, give me a compliment. Seeing you haven't talked to me since you've been on the set for the last 3 fucking weeks." And he's just kind of, And he became really nice. We got along really well after that.
Yeah. Did you get along as well as you and I get along?
Better.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, better. We're not doing so well. In case you haven't noticed. I mean, maybe you're not here right now. You'll have to watch this back and see.
All right. So last question I have is, because you also teach acting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe you could teach like people like me, for example, to be a good actor, or do you think like every actor has to have some talent and you could just teach them to explore that talent?
Everybody's an actor, whether they know it or not. You act differently in front of your grandma than you do your kids, than your spouse or your boyfriend. You act differently in front of a baby or a dog when you're alone.
Right.
You little baby. We all act.
Right.
You watch your language in front of your elders and your grandma. You don't tell your grandma to go fuck herself. So you're acting all the time.
Right.
You're always acting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called improv and acting, but really what I teach is transformation. It's all life lessons, things that you should be doing anyways. Make your partner look good, you look twice as good.
Thank you.
Be in the moment. Be honest, truthful, and real. Figure out what's working and do more of it instead of trying to change and fix what's wrong. Changing and fixing things so your future better doesn't work. How do you know the difference between what works and what doesn't? One makes you smile and the other does not. We're all born with an internal mechanism that tells us. So figure out whatever makes you smile and do more of it. And everything else in life will fix itself, or you realize you just didn't need it in the first place. I once got a chance to see the Dalai Lama speak about happiness. And he said, there are no problems, there are only solutions. And if there's no solution, then why are you even thinking about the problem? So I only think whenever possible in terms of solutions. And that takes away all the stress, tension, and anxiety of having to figure things out throughout your life.
Now, would you say like that's like, what if it was a dramatic scene? You don't want to smile on that, right? So like what would that?
The more real.
Oh.
Let's be honest, truthful, and real is what I said.
Right.
So as long as it's real, the more real it is, the funnier it is. The more real it is, the more dramatic it is.
Oh.
Aristotle says the poet cannot impact on others who he himself is not impacted on. You want to be able to be impacted on as an artist, and only then can you impact on others. Yeah. And that's the weird thing about COVID, right? There's nobody who's gone for the last year without watching movies, television, binge watching Netflix, listening to music, painting, or any other kind of art form. And if arts are the answer to saving our mental health in the middle of a pandemic, then why are we all starving artists? And why are we the ones who lose the funding the quickest and are never put up and supported like any other occupation? Everybody depends on us in the moment of crisis, but nobody will support us when we're creating it. It's the strangest thing.
No, I agree on that. Like that's just it's kind of funny in a way, because it's like then you
ironic.
Ironic. That's the word. It's kind of ironic. Well, hey, let's get to these. I want to respect your time, but let's get to these Twitter questions real fast. We could probably only answer 2 or 3 of them. This is from X412 Race Car Driver. Mark, who's the best improver you've ever improved with?
Oh, the best improviser? Ryan Stiles is pretty good on Whose Line. I would say probably, Robin Williams definitely by far is the best.
Oh.
And I got to work with him a few times. And also John Candy is my favorite actor, hands down, that I ever got to work with.
I heard John Candy was the nicest guy in Hollywood.
He is a generous man. There's really a funny story about him too. We were shooting Home Alone, and John Candy was talking to John Hughes, and Chris Columbus was the first movie he directed.
Yeah.
And they were standing around. They go, Mark, come over here. We want to shoot this scene. We're going to do it in the back of the van. Here's what we want to do. Do you have any ideas? And I came up with all these great ideas. And they go, okay, great. And then John Candy only had one day to shoot that whole movie.
Right.
So we were going on hour 20. We had been shooting the movie for 20 hours. And we got to that scene, and John Hughes and Chris Columbus go, okay, fuck it. We're just going to do a 2-shot on John Candy and Catherine O'Hara. The rest of you pretend like you're asleep. And then they yelled action, and John Candy said all of those things I came up with in that little meeting hours and hours ago. And they all cut, and John Candy looks at me and goes, hey, I used all your stuff, kid. I hope you don't mind. And I was just like, no, that was awesome. And I was too naive to ask for a writing credit or more money, but it was really cool that I basically wrote that scene and John Candy used it.
That's really sweet. My grandfather told me one time I was at Planet Hollywood and I was like 8. This might have been 1994 or 1995. And I had with my Asperger's, I had an obsession with Dennis Quaid and John Candy.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Dennis Quaid from Inner Space. It was my favorite movie. And I loved John Candy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Mm-hmm. And we were at the Planet Hollywood, and my grandfather said, oh my God, Dennis Quaid died. And I was like all in tears and stuff. And it turns out he misread the information. It was John Candy. And I was in more tears. You know what I mean?
So we started on COVID.
No, I was just...
now we're ending on John Candy's death. Wow.
No, I was just saying how, like, his death affected me.
Hey, where'd Alan go? What happened to Alan?
I think his Wi-Fi cut out. He just texted me. He's trying to come back in.
Oh, no, don't let him in. Good, I'm glad he's coming.
I already accept.
We don't need him. We don't need him.
Alan,
there he is.
Man,
what happened? Okay, first your cell phone, then your landline. Now your Wi-Fi goes out. Man,
and he's you. We can't even hear what he says.
You are both the trifectas of interviews here. You're muted. Unmute yourself, Alan.
Alan, unmute yourself.
Again, now I'm teaching IT computer technology again.
This has never happened.
No, neither is this interview. And you know what? It's never going to happen again.
Oh my God. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, you basically missed a whole lot of nothing. But, right, Mark?
No, that was some of the most powerful part of our entire interview. Are you kidding me? That was the John Candy story. He's going to have to watch it just to hear the John Candy story.
And I will.
This was like, I think, the most powerful part of the entire interview you missed, Alan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
and now you weakened it with your return.
I was just starting to become from a terrible interview to a okay terrible interview, and now I just went back to terrible.
Well, I have one question about long form, and he's already answered it. But anyway, long form, how it affects an acting scene, because you have to keep continuing through that line. And I see what he's saying in all these shows, Office and so forth, that long form of which you were part of so much is really showing up in a lot of acting that I see today. Not that it's not been there before. Does that make any sense?
No. I don't have any distinction. For me, there's no distinction between long form and a long scene in a movie.
Okay.
One's a structure and a format, basically a blueprint for an improvisation, and the other, is a filmmaking technique. But I don't understand the question. Maybe
that long form attaches itself to the scene, through the actor when they're doing the scene itself.
Keep in mind, Mark, this is a question coming from a guy who's wearing 2 sets of glasses.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is one. I never forget this one episode ever.
I'll bet the answer to the question that you just asked is somewhere in one of those storage containers behind you.
That's my collectibles that I'm trying to sell.
Yeah.
That's my time.
All right.
Oh dear God.
So, Mark, we're gonna let you go. Respect your time. But you're directing Saint Mary. What's that word?
Immaculate. Saint Mary Immaculate Reunion.com. Just go to markbeltzman.com. You can see my name is printed right here. markbeltzman.com has all of my classes, my acting info, contact info, and the information and the website for the play I'm directing. Please come see this play. It's really going to be exciting. It's not this weekend, but next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in all the time zones. Would love for you to support this. And a portion of your proceeds goes to support our local community theater here in Maui. So you're helping to keep theater alive by buying a ticket.
All right. And Mark, I just wanted to say before, where can they follow you to support you? Like just your website, or do you have a
Yeah, all social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my website has all that information, markbeltzman.com.
All right. Well, Mark, before you head out, I 2 things. One, thank you for doing it. I honestly, truly have no idea if you had fun, but you made me laugh, so thank you.
You can't if you're laughing. There's no way that you could have fun and the other person not, unless it's at their expense.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And then second thing, I hope you don't hate me enough that when you come to LA sometime we could get a cup of coffee or whatever on me.
But I told you, brother, I have no ill feelings whatsoever towards you. You owned your shit. And as a matter of fact, I have more respect for you now that you made that mistake and owned it than I did before. So you win.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks, Mark Beltzman. I love you very much. And thank you for doing Raise the Riffs, man.
Right on, brothers. You're welcome.
Had a blast.
Thank you. All right. Next time, turn off your cell phones. See ya.
Bye, Mark.
Later, brothers.
Wow. Alan, holy Lord.
I knew that there was that one with another comic that we couldn't stop laughing. This one, God, I swear to God, I feel like I've been to some 2-hour comedy show.
Oh, dude, I'm
oh my God.
Subscribe, rate, and review to the show. And follow us on social media. Follow Mark. Go see his play that he's directing. W.St. Mary. I'm going to fuck this word up. Immaculate. Just go to markbeltzman.com, right? Yeah. All right. So what happened? Did you break out from Wi-Fi or something?
No, what happened was from the first show, which I normally don't take the cord out, the charging cord. I said, "Oh, it's good. The battery's good, And then it went out, and I'm really glad that when I plugged it in here, it came back to life. Because it was down to the red, at the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna call you because my thing's saying the meeting's end, so I don't want to be charged for more time. I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Take care.
Subscribe, rate, review, raise the riffs, guys.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.